Canelo Alvarez says that Terence Crawford is pound for pound number one, and he is a great fighter, but Canelo Alvarez is greater than Terence Crawford. This is coming from Canelo. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. So we got some news here for y'all. Canelo Alvarez came out today. It says that Terence Crawford is the pound for pound best, number one in Canelo's eyes. And I know I got a lot of people in supporters Canelo Alvarez on the channel, but Canelo Alvarez is admitting that Terence Crawford is number one. But Canelo Alvarez, he feels like he's just a much of a greater fighter than Terence Crawford. Well, here's my take on the whole situation. I think both of these guys are great fighters, okay? I'm going to put it as simple as I possibly can put it. I think that if Canelo Alvarez was 154 to 160, I think Terence Crawford would beat him. Just because of the versatility and the knockout power that Terence Crawford has at those lower weights. I think that if Canelo Alvarez was 168 and Terence Crawford was 168, I think Canelo Alvarez beats Terence Crawford because of the size of Canelo Alvarez, the bulk muscle he has, and the bending from the hips, the ring IQ of Canelo Alvarez. And we've seen Canelo Alvarez knock out a slick boxer within Caleb Plant. So that ought to tell you something, that Canelo Alvarez can adjust to a slick style. But do I think that he'll be able to adjust to the slick style of Terence Crawford? Yes, I think Canelo Alvarez can adjust to the slick style of Terence Crawford. But here's the problem. I think Terence Crawford, by him being a versatile puncher, he has power on both hands. And it makes for a very interesting fight if those two were decided to get in the ring, which I don't never see that happening. But I think that Canelo Alvarez, he fought a lot of guys. He has 57 fights. He beat a Callum Smith. He beat a Billy Joe Saunders. He beat a Caleb Plant. Those guys was all champions. We can say that some people say, oh, those guys don't have no names, but it doesn't matter if they are no-name guys. At the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez has fought in champions, and he has beaten champions. Despite, as fans, we want to see Canelo Alvarez beat the guys that think that they can beat Canelo Alvarez, but I don't see it. I don't think that David Benavidez beat Canelo Alvarez. I don't think that Jamel or Jamal Charlo beat Canelo Alvarez, and I don't think that Demetrius Andrade beats Canelo Alvarez. I think these guys will present problems for Canelo Alvarez, but I don't think none of these guys can beat Canelo Alvarez, because like I said before, I'm going to say it again, Canelo Alvarez trains like he has nothing. And he's so dedicated to the sport of boxing. The money, cars, and clothes, it doesn't even faze him. He just cares about what he loves to do much, and that's to whoop some ass in that ring. But to answer the question, I think Canelo Alvarez, I think he's right. I think Terence Crawford is pound for pound. He is a multiple division champion, and he was undisputed. I think he is pound for pound number one, and Canelo Alvarez I think he's pound for pound number one. But Canelo Alvarez showed a lot of respect to Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford has been on a knockout streak lately, and I can see why Canelo Alvarez tells Terence Crawford he's number one pound for pound. You number one pound for pound, but remember, Terence Crawford, I'm the greatest fighter. I'm not gonna criticize these guys too much. I think Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are both great fighters. A lot of the diehard boxing fan wants to see them fight the harder competition that we've been waiting for. I have Canelo Alvarez beating all these guys. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., that's going to be a very hard fight for Terence Crawford. A lot of people think that Terence Crawford is going to knock out Errol Spence Jr. I don't see it that way. I think it's going to be a nip and tuck fight. Now, I did have a video breakdown of the fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. I'm going to break that down again if the fight comes to fruition. But it's going to be a tough fight for both guys. But with that being said, Canelo Alvarez looks at Terence Crawford as the pound for pound number one best. But Canelo Alvarez is like, look, you may be pound for pound best, but I am a great fighter. And I am the best fighter in the world. So No, I'm not gonna say that Canelo Alvarez is greater than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford greater than Canelo Alvarez. I think both of these guys are both great fighters. You know, they work hard to get where they are. They got a lot of money. They live in the life they want to live. So I guess, in my opinion, both of these guys are great. You know, but I can see why Canelo Alvarez favorite Terence Crawford as #1 pound for pound best, due to the past accomplishments in the knockout streak that Terence Crawford has at the welterweight division. With that being said, guys, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.